welcome to another episode of the Butterfly Conversations. Actually, this is the first episode in this season. Welcome to, the first episode of the Butterfly Effect season, and I'm very glad to have you on the show today. Yes, it's a show, so I'm very glad to have you on the show today. Before we get into the business of the day, please, this is my plea to you. Help me like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll be doing me a huge favor. Welcome to the first episode in this season of the Butterfly Conversations. My name is Nihin Lalawa Taiwo, and you know that you can call me the Precious Ruby. Today, I'm here to gist with my big sister. Yes, we're going to be having a conversation. Before I introduce her, one thing we want to do in this season is talk about people's, that moment that changed everything for somebody in their life. That one moment that made an entire difference in their life. And one of the subjects that we talk about in our country today is the subject of discipline, and it's borderline with abuse. While a lot of parents are making a difference today, we still have parents who, in the bid to discipline their children, they are actually, on that line of abuse. And we just want to look at how, people's childhoods, people's experiences as children shape their entire life. So today on the show, I have sitting with me to gist, because we're here to gist. Yes. I have sitting with me someone who is a big sister to me, Kehinde Akinseye. Hello.
Hey, hi, thank you for having me.
Mention it.
It is mentioned.
But really, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
me. I already said it. We are here to gist. We're just gonna gist today.
Okay.
So, what is your view on the entirety of discipline and abuse? What do you think? What are your views on that subject?
Okay, so I've been a parent. I think I'll start from there. I've been a parent for about, I'd say, I had my first child 10 years ago. So I'll say I've been a parent for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not easy.
My children, actually.
Okay. So I would say it's not, parenting is not easy. It is not easy. But I belong to the school of thoughts that discipline is a place of discipline. As a parent, there's a place of discipline. But I think what we often get wrong as parents is where to draw the line between am I disciplining this child or am I abusing my child?
Yes.
Because whether you like it or not, there's that tendency to overdo as a parent. So something I always tell myself is, Kenny, as you are disciplining your child, ensure you do it with love. Whatever you're doing, when it comes to discipline, let your focal point be, I'm disciplining this child because I love this child. I mean, even the Bible says it. When you correct your child, you love that child. When you love a child, you discipline that child. And I always tell my child, when my daughter feels like, oh, mommy, it's not fair, you are doing this, I'll be like, I'm disciplining you because I love you, not because I'm your
So
parent.
you actually have that conversation with them?
Yes. Not because they are children. Children, as humans generally, we respond to love. And children respond to a higher form of love. So I always let them know, I'm disciplining you not because I hate you, not because I'm your parent, I have the upper hand, but because I love you. I will open the Bible. See, the Bible says it here. Yes, because something I've done as a parent is you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you're picking up from the word, oh, how should I raise my child?
Yeah.
How should I discipline my child? As a
we
parent,
are not all Christians, don't forget that.
Yeah, we're not all Christians, good, but the life, that there should be a form of, something that guides your life.
Yes.
So for me, when it comes to discipline, I discipline my child with love. That's my go-to, because it will be difficult for you. My first is a 10-year-old. Now she's probably in a place where I can tell her, go and do that thing. If you don't do it, I will beat you. She will listen. But she gets to her teenage years, when she becomes a teenager, if I have not formed that foundation of disciplining in love, there will be I will have a rebellion on my hands. So that's why it's not just when you're telling a child do this and they are listening. Look further when this girl becomes a teenager. When I no longer have the authority I have right now, will this child still listen to me? So I'll just say when you're thinking about discipline, when you're disciplining your child and you realize you're no longer doing it in love, you need to
Take a step
take a
back.
step back. Because I think some of the things our parents got wrong when they were raising us it was more like a authoritarian kind of parenting. I'm your parent, you have to do this. But I always tell my friends, you can no longer parent the way our parents did. Fine, our parents got some things right. Let's give them that. I'm not a part of that people that would think, oh, our parents did not do clinical. They did it. I turned out well. But I feel like there are some things we should correct. There's some things our parents did not do well that, when we are parenting this generation, I don't know what they are calling them. Is it alpha? What is their generation?
I don't know. Alpha. I think they are generation alpha. Yeah.
There's some things we need to unlearn, and not for our own sake, but for their sakes.
Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, there's some things we picked up from growing up, some traumas we grew up with, that some parents, if you're not careful, you will pass it on to your child. I remember, I'm sorry, I don't want to go too far.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was growing up, my mom was, the best mom, the praying mom. But I always tell her, I tried telling her when I entered university, because they did not born you to tell them when you are still under their roof.
Oh boy.
I started telling her that you are so good, you are so nice, my mom is that person that she will tell you, don't ask boy for money, I will give you anything you want, I will give you. So I knew she loved me. But sometimes when she gets angry, it's as if that love flies out the window.
Yeah.
She was so quick to get angry, and then she would say some tough of words. And growing up, my mom should tell me, pick between for me to talk to you or beat you. I'll pick beating. Because there's some words that she uses, and I just feel like these words are too big. Like, don't say this sort of thing. So when I grew up, I was telling her, those things I used to say, I didn't like it. So when I became a parent, I told myself I would never talk to my child like this. I will be so intentional. Well, see, there's some things that when you grow up with, it will be hard to let go of.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time, there's this rule of, your first child, you have to be hands-on.
That's your training.
Exactly.
Season.
So I'll say the first 3 years or 4 years of this last life, I trained with her. I did a lot of unlearning in that period, because I remember vividly the first time she did something, and I said, are you stupid? That day, I wanted to cry. I mean, she wasn't there, but I felt really bad. Immediately the words left my mouth. I said, Kenny, this is not you. This was what your mother did that you're not doing.
Yes.
And I didn't like it. So I felt, I told myself once I became a parent, I was never going to do it. But I found myself doing it. Not because I wanted to, but because it was already in my mind.
Subconscious.
It's
so it was ingrained already.
Exactly.
Yes.
It played out. So right now, in fact, at that time I told myself, no, this is not the parent I want to be. I learned a lot of things. I prayed about a lot of things. I read materials, how to be a good parent. Because parenting, being a good parent will not just fall on you. You will not just become a good parent by default. You have to learn and relearn. So I told myself, I want to do better. What my parents did not do, maybe they did not know. Now, ignorance should not be my excuse. Exactly. Yes. It should not be an excuse for me right now. I have to do better. So
thank you. Yeah. So I don't want us to dwell too much on the parenting part, because, like I said, the butterfly effect, how that's. I think I want us to talk a little about you've mentioned a little about how you grew up and how you did not like some things your mom said or something. Now, do you think that I feel like we've answered it, but let's talk a little more about it. Do you think that those moments of our lives has shaped the adults we've become today? Do you think it has an effect on how we behave, how we act,
definitely,
and even the choices we make and the humans we've become generally?
Definitely, I would say. For example, I told you about the fact that I don't like when my mom talks to me. Like, I would prefer for you to beat me than say that. And I feel like as an adult, I would say that maybe one of my love languages is word of affirmation. So when I come in contact with the opposites, maybe you talk down at me, it takes me back to that time of, so I've grown so don't talk to me anyhow.
Yes.
I don't, and it's something, I feel like it's something I formed or probably picked up from growing up. So even in my relationship with my husband, I always tell him, it's I mean, him, he jokes a lot, he says a lot of things, and it took me a while to get used to it that, it's just joking. So when he says some things, I'll be like, no, don't talk to me like that. I don't I don't like it. Like, but I realized that this is something because it's from how I grew up. It's from the fact that most times my mom can abuse you for 30 minutes going like without repeating the same words. So
Wow.
for me, I felt like, so when I find myself in that kind of, I've created a lot of boundaries when it comes to how I allow people to talk to me. So I had to tell myself, Kenny, not everybody means
Bad.
to hurt you. Not
Yes.
everybody means, so you need to take a step back and just,
So wait though. So how do we bridge that gap? Because I have a friend who Mobola.
okay.
And when I first met Mobola, you're joking, and somebody, not me anyway, because I also don't like such words. But somebody jokingly calls you there. And she goes, her face changes. She's like, I don't like it. Don't speak to me like that. I'm like, hey, calm down. Because I don't have a problem. If you call me idiot, I'll say, I use a idiot.
But you're not hard though.
Yeah. But, I had to learn it as well.
Okay.
While I didn't use it on other people, I was free with other people in that manner. Because, so where do we bridge that gap? I'm just joking with you.
Yeah.
Why can't I call you a day?
No, I think that's where communication comes in. You know, it's when you call somebody your friend, you communicate. And I feel like for every form of relationship, there should be boundaries.
Yeah.
No matter how close we are, no matter if I let you know that I do not like this thing, you might want to even ask, okay, why don't you like it? You get to know the person better. I don't like this thing. Okay, why don't you like it? Probably for her, probably she's somebody like me. Maybe she has grown up in an environment whereby a lot of things, and then she has decided that I'm going to have boundaries when it comes to what people say to me. So I feel when you get to know people better, I don't like this. And I always tell people, don't treat people the way you feel, if I'm treated this way, I won't mind. Treat them the way they want to be treated. So if somebody tells you, I don't use or they on me, then don't use it. I don't like it. You might use another friend, the other friend will return it back with another form of, and you people will go back and forth, but not everybody is comfortable in that space. And they have to, like you said, the thin line between, discipline and, abuse. And there's some things you do, and for you, even when they relate it to you, be like, there's no big deal. But there's something that somebody else might be faced with that same circumstances and will feel like this is playing a trauma from my childhood that I didn't find it, I was not okay with it then, and I'm still not okay with it now. So I feel like the responsibility is on you as the friend to know, okay, this is what my friend. You shouldn't take an offense. That's what I'm going to say. Don't take offense to that correction.
Yes.
Just, try
take
to
the correction
exactly
with love.
That's it.
Nowadays, I feel like we throw a lot of big words around. Trauma, abuse, depression, all of those words. But the truth is, there is no denying that some of these things actually cause deep-seated issues in our lives. How do we, is it move on, but how do we ensure that they are not shaping our lives negatively? Because yes, you've experienced this. That's been an effect, butterfly effect. That's been something that has happened that is shaping your experiences and your outcomes. So how do we move on so that these things do not, remain a stumbling block to who we want to be, to what to who we want to be in the future?
Okay, so I have a friend. I'm not going to mention her name, but I have a friend that she went through. How would I say this now? She, in her own words, she didn't have the best parents. She felt like her parents, did a lot. She felt they could have done better, and I would say that thing messed with her. Like it messed with her mind. It messed with how she receives kindness, how she relates with people, and no, we have had several conversations about this, about, your parents, this has already happened. You already turned out this way, though. How do you make the best of it? How do you get yourself to heal and move past what has already happened? And then her healing started when she started talking about it. She was no longer talking from a point of, my parent did this is why I'm like this. But she started owning, like, this is my past. This happened, but I'm not going to stay in this space. I'm not going to let this define who I am. My parents have made a mistake, but I now have the responsibility to see, okay, how do I get myself out of this? So she started, I think she had was it a show? I don't know, where she talks about how it took her to be vulnerable.
Yes.
In fact, when she started, I was like, wow. Like but I feel like when you own that vulnerability and you put it out there, it helps you, get some things off your chest. So when you're thinking of, I went through childhood trauma, I went through this, you have gone through those things. What do you now do? You can be like this, my friend. talk about it, not from a victim perspective.
Yes.
Like, I went through this, but I'm coming out of it. I am becoming a better version of myself.
Yes.
I recognize the fact that I need help. I'm not going to stay. This is not some people that they form victims and then they stay with that victim mentality.
Yes,
they don't want to
remain there.
Exactly. But by talking about it, by sharing with people, somehow it makes you feel lighter. And by recognizing the fact that you need help, if you need to see a psychiatrist, see one. If you need to, I feel like there are times that you go through some issues that I know, like you said, we're not all Christians, but that sometimes you go through some issues. I always feel like every season I go through in my life is for a purpose. There's no season you go through that it just feels like
that is wasted.
Yes. So to just see that this is a season, what lesson can I take on from this season and do better? How can I make sure that other people learn from this my experience, and then they don't see it as they are alone.
So even in our journeys to growth,
exactly,
in everything that we are doing, all we need to look out for the lessons.
Yes, just pick it like I'm going through this. There's a lesson in this. I think that's what my mindset. There's a lesson in this presently. I'm not going to let this experience shape me entirely. I'm not going to let it shape my entire future. I'll pick out the lesson from this and say, okay, move on, and then I will see how I can use this to help other people. Because you're not the only one. I always tell people, when you feel like I'm going through something, you're not the only one going through that thing. There are other people that are going through it. How can I help these people, get the kind of healing or the kind of, how will I say, clarity that I've gotten through what I went through.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense to you.
A lot of sense. Yeah. Thank you very much. I still want to just a lot, but maybe we'll bring you back. But thank you very much. This is a good time to like. This is a good time to share this video. This is a good time to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because our YouTube channel actually is our YouTube channel, because this Alazoia. They're the ones that started the whole welcome to our YouTube channel.
I know, right?
But thank you very much for sharing this with us. Quickly, what role do you think failure plays in our entire journey? Especially, our parents, or some of our parents, have failed in certain aspects when it comes to bringing us up. So what role do you think all of these failures and all the failures will meet in our future? Because whether we like it or not, there are times we fail. What role do you think all of these things play in our journey to growth?
Like I said, every moment is a lesson. So even in the failures, I believe there are lessons in it. I mean, if you fail at something, the next time you're going to do that thing, you will not repeat the same process that led you up to that failure. So I believe that if for every failure, funny thing is, for every failure, I'm sort of always grateful. Because I know that, I've made this mistake, I won't make this mistake again. So I don't want anybody to see failure as like you fail at something and then you're like, okay, that's it, I'm giving up. Like, see failure as something to propel you to greatness. To greatness. See it as, I've made this mistake, I've failed, I can't fail again.
I won't do this mistake again.
Exactly.
So. Thank you very much. So let's play a quick, not game, but let's do something funny, lighter. There's something called the sweet spot and the pet peeve. Your sweet spot is something that makes you, just smile. For example, I love the smell of rain. When the ground has been dry. They call it petrichor.
Wow.
So I love that smell. That smell. So what's something that, just makes you smile? And then your pet peeve, something that pisses you off.
Okay. Even thinking about it right now is making me smile. Is well-made food, good food.
Oh no,
like,
you had to.
Any food, like, when you take a spoon and you're like, this food was made with love. I've not tasted it, so I don't know. This food was made with love. I think that's my sweet spot. Just give me a well-made food. And my pet peeve is when I see adults using curse words. When you see an adult saying the F word, I'm like, who raised you?
Is that something that tells on who raised you?
I don't know. Who are you?
Don't worry, let's not go there yet.
Well, it sticks me the wrong way. Like, I don't. If I'm trying to, maybe I'm looking at you like, I like this person, and you use curse words. Oh, bye. I don't. So that's it.
Thank you very much for sharing, and thank you for coming on the Butterfly Conversations, especially as the first guest.
Mention it.
Mention it, especially as the first guest of the
season.
Anything
for you.
I know, right?
I did it for something.
More proud.
I did it for
You did it for food.
Like I said, love good food. So
Thank you very much, Auntie
You're welcome,
Kenny.
you're
I'm
welcome.
really grateful.
welcome.
Thank you for joining us on the Butterfly Conversations today. Again, this is a good place to like. This is a good place to share this video to someone who needs it. You know, it's gonna add value to somebody's life, and this is a great place to subscribe to my
Subscribe to our
YouTube channel.
channel.
Till I
please.
see you again. Keep the fire burning.
No.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.